never really had a problem with DHS until the summer of 2023 when our local Boys and Girls Club decided to do a welfare check even after being told that the person that they were doing welfare check has severe mental health issues. And that the reason why she had not been going to Boys and Girls Club, which is an optional summer activity, they sent the cops to the house for a welfare check. That went fine. The cops said we didn't do anything wrong and everything was a-okay, but 2 days later, because I told them that I wasn't going to be sending my son back, they decided to write letters and get DHS involved. We adopted our daughter, biological niece, in 2017. She was 3 years old. At that point in time, couldn't tell whether or not she was going to have any behavioral issues. But her parents are both drug addicts and have diagnosed severe mental health issues. She didn't show signs until she was about 5 or 6. And when she did start to show signs, we took her to every therapist, every clinic we could think of to figure out what was wrong and how to fix it. But we didn't get a diagnosis until the December of 2022, and that was a diagnosis of conduct disorder and reactive attachment disorder. Conduct disorder devolves into antisocial personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. And with reactive attachment disorder, you get violent children who they have a 33% chance of getting better, getting worse, or staying the same on each of those. Well, as she got older, the worse she got. To the point where she was a safety risk to herself and those around her. And sometimes that meant you miss out on going to things like Boys and Girls Club. So anyway, DHS showed up, and due to the fact that we were doing our best to keep her from hurting herself or anybody else in the household, they felt like we shouldn't be doing what the doctors told us to do. So they removed her from the home, and they never really did what they were supposed to do. They wouldn't look at her psych evaluation or acknowledge the fact that she had any mental disorders or that she was a safety hazard to herself and those around her, even though it was very well documented from the time she was about 5 or 6. When it comes to DHS training, their workers, their bottom level workers, are required to have just a high school diploma or GED and at least 36 months dealing with someone who has a mental health disorder. And that's it. When it comes to their more in-depth training, according to their own website on oklahoma.gov, they are only required to learn about adult mental health disorders and adult issues where the adult is the aggressor, the adult is the abuser, the adult is the problem. They have no training whatsoever when it comes to childhood mental disorders. They don't know how to deal with someone who has conduct disorder or reactive attachment disorder or are showing the early signs of a schizophrenia diagnosis, which is what we had in our case. So, yeah, in DHS's eyes, parents are the bad guys, and children are not capable of doing such things to other people or to themselves. What they really need is better training. They should have to take childhood development and psychological disorders for children and know exactly what they are doing when they are interacting with a child like that. Because when you don't, you have someone who comes in and says, you are the aggressor, you are the horrible person, and we don't like what's going on here. So we're going to take said child away from you, and we're going to pressure you into signing away your parental rights, because that's the only way you're going to get rid of us. Because we don't care if this child has issues. Our goal is to get her into another family and get her adopted as soon as possible and not treat her for her symptoms. DHS is also being under investigation for making up things to take children out of the home. And even on a Fox 23 News article, they have admitted that they are understaffed and underqualified to handle quite a few of their cases. Today, I have gave you some background and some thought about how DHS workers are unqualified and should not be dealing with these types of cases and should recuse themselves and bring people in who actually know what they're doing. And I hope that this will make you want change for the system and that things like this never happen to any other family ever again.